Welcome to the Quarantine Players. Tonight's performance is about what happens in a liberal college when pictures of overweight students of Middle Eastern descent are discovered in a beloved teacher's desk.
Welcome, everybody. Before we begin, I want to introduce our fabulous cast to you. In order of, I believe, appearance, if everyone could tell us who you're playing, who you are, and where you are acting from, where in the country or world you are.
In order of appearance or cast list?
Cast list.
Hello, everyone. I am playing Edgar. My name is Spencer Dooley, and I am currently in Houston.
Hi, I'm Brenny Rabine. I'm reading Claire, and I'm calling in from Saratoga Springs, New York.
I am Danny Vaccaro, and I am playing Tom, and I am now in New York City.
Hi, I'm Diane, and I will be playing, my name is Taifa Harris, and I'll be playing Diane, and I'm calling in from New York City.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Boys. I'm playing Pat. I live in New York City in Times Square, but I'm calling in from Ocean Grove, New Jersey at the beach. And I play Pat. I said that.
Hi, my name is Scott Olson. I play Murray, and I am calling in from outside of DC in Gainesville, Virginia.
Hello, my name is Tarneem Bybee. I'm playing Zayna Nafari, and I'm coming from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hi, my name is Laura Gekness. I am playing the voice of Anchorwoman, and I am in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
So without further ado, Fat Muslim Girls or Zayna Nafari by Ken Kaissar. Act 1. Pictures of plus-size women, all of Middle Eastern or Indian descent in various states of undress, are projected on the stage. Each image flashes in a different part of the stage, first left center, then top middle, then bottom right, then top right, and so on. After about 6 pictures, lights up on the living room of Edgar and Claire. Claire sits with Tom. Claire is looking at copies of the same photographs. She smokes and drinks scotch.
I don't understand. Who are they?
You know, they're students.
Students. Edgar's students?
I would imagine. I don't know why else he would know them. They're currently enrolled at the Cape.
But how do we know that this has anything to do with Edgar?
These photographs were found in his desk.
In his desk? You were snooping around in Edward's desk?
Oh, God. Jesus. I didn't say I found them. You think I've nothing better to do than snoop around Edgar's desk?
I'm starting to wonder.
A janitor was emptying his trash, found an expensive-looking pen in the can, and placed it in his desk drawer. Hello. He reported the pictures to Bethany, and here we are.
Yes. Here you are. With evidence, ready to crucify him. Congratulations.
That is so unfair. If I didn't care, I'd be talking to HR right now, not you.
You're jumping to conclusions.
Claire.
What?
I know this is hard and painful. I'm sorry.
How do you know it's not a social experiment?
He's a philosophy professor, Claire. He's not Kinsey.
Maybe he's writing a piece on body image in different cultures.
When was the last time Edgar wrote a piece on anything?
When he got tenure.
Exactly, and even then he barely got it published.
It was Thucydides and his influence on Spinoza. Who gives a shit about Thucydides?
Who gives a shit about Spinoza? And by the way, Thucydides had zero influence on Spinoza.
Oh, did you read the argument?
He was a Jewish philosopher. It's a little like claiming the influence of Euripides on Woody Allen.
Well, it would explain the angst.
It's a wonder he got tenure, and we both know it.
Oh, so that's what this is about.
What?
You think Edgar hasn't achieved enough, and this is an opportunity to get rid of him?
Come on, Claire. I've been Edgar's friend and yours since college.
There has to be a perfectly good explanation for this.
Yeah, one explanation is Edgar is sexually involved with several of his students.
Don't be ridiculous.
What do you mean, don't be ridiculous?
Edgar is not... sleeping with these girls?
You don't know that.
Of course I do.
Yeah? How?
Tom.
Claire.
Tom, look at them.
What?
Look at them.
Yeah? So?
So, don't you see? Oh, I have to explain this to you.
Yeah, apparently you do.
Tom, you're a man.
Claire.
Aren't you? Look at them.
What am I looking at?
I had to spell this out for you.
Yes, I guess you do.
Tom, would you sleep with these women?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm seriously asking you.
No, I wouldn't. I don't sleep with students.
That's not what I'm getting at, and you know it.
What are you?
Forget the school. Forget the fact that they're students. Take age out of it. Let's say these are all women in their late 20s. You meet them at a bar. You get chatting, and they're all perfectly nice. Is there one among them that you would try to take home?
Just say it. What are you trying to get me to admit?
They're fat, Tom.
Oh, Claire. Come on.
And unattractive.
All right, let's not go there.
I'm serious. These are very serious allegations you're bringing against Edgar. All the facts need to be taken into account.
The facts?
Yes.
That they're unattractive?
Yes.
Claire.
Tom.
That's not a fact.
Oh, Tom.
It's your opinion. It's your opinion.
Okay, fine. So they're fat. That's not my opinion. That's an empirical fact.
Claire!
Are you saying it's not an empirical fact? If I showed these pictures to my nutritionist, are you saying that she would tell me that they're not overweight?
Yes. She probably would.
Okay, then.
Okay, nothing. It doesn't change anything.
It most certainly does.
What does it change?
It changes the fact that this can't possibly be sexual. If you had brought me a bunch of pictures of skinny white girls in their underwear and...
Oh, Claire, you didn't just...
What?
Now you're bringing race into it.
Okay, no, I didn't mean that. Forget I said white. If they were pictures of 28-year-old Bollywood beauties, I would be the first to condemn him.
So maybe overweight is just his taste.
It's not.
Claire.
It's not his taste.
How do you know?
Because he's my husband. I would know.
Maybe his tastes are changing with age.
No.
Maybe he's going through a phase.
He's not.
You know every single thing about his erotic desires.
Yeah, 'cause I'm his wife. I think I do. He likes to be tied up. He's into feet. And he likes young, attractive girls of the barely legal variety.
Okay, I don't need to hear any of this. I'm his department head. Jesus.
My point is, he's not a perfect angel. He's into things that he probably shouldn't be into. But fat girls from Bangladesh is not one of them.
Oh, Claire, you don't know where they're from. God damn it.
Tom!
No, listen to me. I don't need to be here right now. But you and Edgar mean a lot to me. I just thought before any action gets taken that you should know.
He didn't sleep with those girls, Tom.
Does it matter? Can you think of one good reason why Edgar should have pictures of students in their underwear in his desk drawer?
Claire gets up to get a pill bottle. She takes the pill and washes it down with the scotch.
What are you taking? A Xanax with alcohol. That's like really dangerous.
Oh, stop being such a prude. It was really unattractive when we were in college, and it's unbecoming of a college dean.
Excuse me for being concerned about you.
It's a diet pill, okay? Pills I should stop taking, by the way, now that I know that Edgar gets off to a bunch of fat girls.
I'm taking these pictures to HR in the morning.
No.
What happens next will be up to them and President Meyer.
Okay, wait. Slow down, will ya?
It's out of my hands.
Let's talk to Edgar. You and me. Let's get the whole story.
I don't want the whole story. I don't want to know anything else about it. Do you think I want this on my plate?
Edgar is your friend.
Yes, he's also my subordinate.
Good. So talk to your subordinate. If this is a misunderstanding, let's straighten it out before we get the university involved.
No, wait, Claire, are you out of your mind? This is serious shit we're talking about here. If it gets out that I knew and that I didn't act, I could be facing disciplinary action too.
Well, who has to know that you know?
I've been leaving Edgar voicemails since yesterday. Finally, I sent him an email about this today. I told him I'm going to HR. There's a paper trail now.
Oh, Tom, why'd you have to?
Because it's my job. Where is Edgar, anyway?
He hasn't been picking up my calls either.
If he were here, the three of us would have a conversation right now, but he's not here. And I can't afford to give him any more time. If it's a misunderstanding, it'll be up to HR to straighten it out.
Don't do this, Tom. Not before talking to Edgar.
You didn't come here so you could talk me out of going to HR.
I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Jesus, I'm not a child. I know what your responsibilities are. I just want to give Edgar some time.
I don't have time to give him. I just wanted you to hear this from me.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because I care about you. I want you to know that no matter what happens with Edgar, that I care about you.
What about Edgar?
I care about Edgar too. What am I supposed to do? I'm really sorry to be the messenger. Will you call me when you hear from him?
Blackout. Scene 2. A college conference room. Pat and Murray wait for the others to arrive.
You see the pictures?
No, how would I have seen the pictures?
Tom didn't show them to you?
No, why would he? What, why Tom showed them to you?
No, he didn't.
Why?
I just figured he'd show them to you.
Why?
No reason. 'Cause you're straight.
What?
I figured straight guys confide in each other. If Tom were gay, he would have totally shown them to me.
I really hope that's not true.
It is. We talk to each other in our community. I figured straight guys do the same.
First of all, we don't have a community. It's just every man for himself. Secondly, it would have been highly unprofessional for Tom to show me those pictures.
I saw.
You did?
Yep.
How?
Because Bethany drafted the email to HR, and I happened to be checking my mailbox at the same time. I saw the pictures over her shoulder.
Oh my God, you were snooping over Bethany's desk while she was working?
I wasn't snooping. Bethany and I are tired. We were shooting the breeze. I caught a glimpse of the pictures, and I said, "What the hell?" And so she told me the whole story.
Oh my God.
Swore me to secrecy. Oh, there are no other gays in the department, so I got to talk to someone.
Why would she show you the pictures?
Women talk to gay men. It's just how it works.
Oh my God, when did sexual orientation become a networking asset?
If you know that there's no chance you're ever going to see someone naked, you can afford to keep it real. Anyway, suffice it to say, I saw the pictures.
And?
Talk about chunky monkey.
Oh, Pat, that is so mean.
I know. Did I just say that? No, that was really harsh. I'm sorry. I meant it as objectively as possible.
You can't mean chunky monkey as objectively as possible.
Well, I'm just saying, they're heavy. When a professor goes down for a student, she's usually some hot, spicy young thing.
What else do you know about them?
They're Muslim.
Muslim?
Yeah, you know.
How do you know they're wearing hijabs, burqas,
Yes.
what?
Yes. No, not burqas. They were in their underwear, but a few of them were wearing hijabs.
They're wearing hijabs, but posing in their underwear?
A few of them.
So how do you know they're all Muslims?
I don't. I just assumed.
Well, don't assume, Pat. Jesus. You don't want to make sweeping generalizations.
Who cares, Murray? The point is, they all look Middle Eastern.
And why is that the point?
It's just unique, something you don't see every day. It's weird.
And anyway, just because they're Middle Eastern doesn't mean they're Muslim. They could be Hindu or Christian or even Jewish for all we know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Everyone is so goddamn PC these days. Who gives a shit what their religion is?
That is my point exactly.
I was just trying to describe what they look like. They're all overweight, Middle Eastern looking girls.
Maybe that's just his thing, you know?
No.
Middle Eastern overweight girls.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Diane enters.
But it wouldn't surprise me. There are all kinds of things.
There are all kinds of things what?
What?
You said there were all kinds of things. There are all kinds of things what? What are you talking about?
Murray was just explaining that there are all kinds of
things that students do to get around turning papers in on time. It really burns my ass.
Oh.
Seriously, Pat?
What? It's just Diane. She assigns papers too. She understands.
You weren't talking about papers, were you? You were talking about Edgar, weren't you?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I hope you weren't this honest with the tenure committee.
I was.
And you still got tenure? Oh my God. You must be a really good professor or something.
I'm pretty legit.
Why didn't you just say you were talking about Edgar?
Because we're guys, Diane.
Well, what does that mean?
It means we were engaging in guy talk. And when guys discuss sex scandals, they talk differently than they do when women are present.
Whatever. I don't want to know.
And anyway, who do you know? Why do you know about that? I thought they were trying to keep the whole thing on the down low.
They are. But Bethany and I are pretty tight.
She showed you the pictures?
Yep. Swore me to secrecy.
Yep. See?
Are you serious?
Well, come on, Murray. You guys have your guy talk. You expect us women to chat?
Oh, this is totally consistent with my theory, by the way.
So what? I'm the only person in the department who hasn't seen these pictures?
Looks that way.
Man.
Trust me, Murray. You don't want to get involved. The less you know, the better.
You know any of these girls?
You know, one of them looks familiar to me. I think I may have had her in my romantic poetry class.
Yeah?
I think so. Can't be positive, but I'm almost sure.
What's she like?
I didn't really know her. I think she was a good student, if I'm remembering the right one. Did her work, no earth-shattering opinions or anything.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on the situation?
What's my take?
Yeah, you know, as a woman.
As a woman? Photos of female students in their underwear are found inside a professor's desk drawer, and you want to know my take as a woman? I don't know. What's your take as a man?
No, I just thought maybe you have nuanced views that I hadn't considered, that's all, since you're a woman.
Okay. Stop saying I'm a woman. That's really annoying.
Sorry.
I'm pissed. And I've drafted a letter.
You drafted a letter?
What?
On behalf of the female faculty.
Seriously?
Dead serious.
The entire female faculty?
Anyone who wanted to be represented. I'm tired of the stories of sexual assault getting brushed under the rug. I've been teaching here for 8 years now, and I personally know of at least 5 girls who have been assaulted. And those are only the ones I know about. And yet none of them have ever resulted in criminal charges or expulsion. Enough is enough. I want President Meyer to know that the women on his faculty know about the case and that we're watching.
Ooh, talk about setting off the volcano.
Sorry, too intense? I didn't come in here expecting to talk to you guys about this. We could just drop it.
Well, no. Come on, we're in it now. Let's just have it out.
Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone.
Hey, Tom.
All right, everyone have a chance to review the course load.
Can I just ask you, how did you get to sexual assault?
Come on, Pat. He took pictures of students in their underwear. You don't think he probably assaulted or at the very least harassed and coerced them? Hey, Tom.
I take it you're not talking about the course load.
Sorry. This is an inappropriate time to be having this conversation.
Yeah, I'd say so. And since I have to meet with HR in about 30 minutes, let's say we stay focused and make this the shortest department meeting in the history of McCabe. Can I get a motion to approve the course load?
Motion.
Second.
You gonna tell Tom what you told us?
No, that's not a second, Pat. That's you're yammering on about things that have nothing to do with you. Seconding the motion would sound like this. I second the motion. See how that works?
I don't think my correspondence with President Meyer is any of Tom's business. Do you?
Correspondence.
I am concerned. I am a concerned member of the McCabe community. I can correspond with President Meyer on anything I choose. Isn't that right, Tom?
It is right.
Thank you.
But since you brought it up, you mind telling me just what you've corresponded with President Meyer about?
Diane drafted a letter about Edgar on behalf of the entire female faculty.
Tell me you didn't, Diane.
I didn't.
Thank God.
Only the ones willing to be represented by me.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Diane!
What?
This is an HR issue. This is not a arts and humanities issue.
This is a university issue.
Yeah, it is, Tom.
Right? I am a concerned member of this community. The university response to this incident has ramifications for me.
Because you're a woman.
Pat!
Sorry. Won't happen again.
Not because I'm a woman, simply because I'm a member of the community.
By that token, the university response to this incident has ramifications for us all.
It does, Maury. Absolutely.
And yet you didn't talk to any men if they wanted to be represented by this letter, did you?
No, I didn't. You're right.
Why didn't you?
Because I know what most men would have said.
You know what most men would have said.
I know what many would have said. Look, let's be honest. It's women who are being threatened by this issue. It's by and large women who face sexual harassment. It's women who face coercion, not men.
I agree. And personally, I'm very concerned for the well-being of these women.
That's very big of you, and I appreciate that. But I don't imagine for 1 second that you speak for all men, do you?
I don't profess to.
If men were that concerned about the well-being of women, where the hell have you guys been for the last 60 years?
Diane, as your department head, I simply request that you allow HR and the university to issue a formal response to the situation before you draft any more correspondence.
That's fair. But just so you know, I haven't declared war on anyone. I just wanted to remind President Meyer that the women on this campus are paying attention. And his response to male coercion and harassment of female students better be an appropriate one.
How do you know how do you even know Edgar coerced or harassed those girls?
Oh, it's a given, Pat. You think these girls asked Edgar if they could pose for him?
How do you even know Edgar's the photographer? How do you know that these girls didn't send him the photos.
Doesn't matter. If he so much as requested them, then he's guilty of harassment.
How do we know it wasn't their idea? As a joke.
Zayna and Afari and at least one other are Muslim, Pat. They're always seen on campus wearing hijabs.
Okay. Patrick, satisfied? They don't keep their heads covered and then take pictures of themselves in lingerie as a joke. Hardy har har. Can we stick to reality here?
Look, I am just trying to play the devil's advocate, okay? I don't know what did or didn't happen. I think it's entirely possible that Edgar had very little to do with the production of those photos. Well, it might even be possible that his interests in these photos are not of a sexual nature.
Oh, come on.
It's possible.
Based on what? Based on what?
Edgar's no dummy, Diane. He knows that asking these girls for sexual photos would mean the end of his career.
So, he was thinking with his dick. Nothing implausible about that.
Right, but if you're going to go there, if you're going to take a risk like that, are you going to approach the most conservative and obviously religious girls in your class?
Who do you approach, Pat?
I don't approach anyone.
Who does Edgar approach in your scenario?
You're not going to like it.
Just say it.
So, listen, in terms of course load, I'm thinking we should 86 sports and ethics. Any thoughts?
Who do you approach, Pat?
Sports and ethics, Pat, please. Sports and ethics.
The ostensibly loose and slutty girl.
Oh, Pat, seriously.
Oh, come on, Tom. It's not like they don't exist. It's a freaking archetype, is it not?
No, it is, Pat.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That type of student is a living cliche.
And this case would have been better if Edgar had approached a girl who wears her sexuality on her sleeve.
No, not better. Don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I'm saying. I just would have found Edgar's transgression slightly more believable, that's all.
He has a point, Diane.
Right?
He definitely does. I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong, Pat.
Look, Diane, you know Edgar. He's a sweet guy. Does he strike you as the kind of guy who would coerce and harass students?
He strikes me as a likable guy that students want to please, who may not have considered that his actions might fall under the category of harassment. No matter how likable he is, he has a libido. And no matter who you are, if you let your students get a glimpse of your freak side, you've definitely crossed the line.
Okay, good talk. I'm making an executive decision to 86 sports and ethics. So, it's done.
See? This is where I disagree with you, Diane.
Jesus. How much longer do I have to be the head of this fucking department?
This ought to be good.
I don't think Edgar lets his students see his freak side.
Really? An official department meeting. We're honestly discussing Edgar's freak side.
I think Edgar has no sexual interest in these girls whatsoever.
They're striking sexy poses in lingerie. It's a little like they're saying the kid who raided the candy jar had no interest in sugar.
It's possible.
What else might have motivated Edgar to obtain these pictures?
He's a philosophy professor. Maybe he's making a philosophical point or a political one.
I see. Well, he should be doing that on Craigslist from home.
These girls are not just the type that throw you away or throw you. It's not. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is these girls are not the type that you throw away your career for.
Oh, really, Pat? And what are the kind of girls you throw away your career for?
Come on, Diane. You know what I'm talking about.
I want to hear you say it out loud.
Please don't, Pat.
Attractive ones.
Christ.
So these women are undeserving of justice because they're not attractive enough for you? Is that it?
Diane, you are demonizing my point of view.
Oh, I'm demonizing? Or maybe you're just a fucking demon. You think these girls are incapable of capturing sexual interest because they're, what, ugly?
No, not ugly. That is cruel. Just
What?
overweight.
Fat.
Overweight. Not a value judgment, just a fact.
And if these girls were thin, you'd concede that Edgar's interest is of a sexual nature?
I'd be closer, yes.
I'm done, Tom. I'm sorry. I'm fried and vaguely nauseous. You cut whatever fucking class you want, and I second the motion to approve the course load. I'll be in my office if anyone needs me.
Diane exits and slams the door behind her.
Fuck!
Sorry, Tom. I didn't mean to upset her.
No, it's not that she's upset. She can't second the motion to approve the course load.
Why not?
She brought the motion in the first place.
Blackout. Scene 3, Diane's office. Diane is working. There's a tentative knock at the door.
Come in.
Zayna, one of the young women in the previously seen photos, enters. She wears a hijab.
Professor Patterson?
Yes. Oh, hi. Please, come in. I'm really happy to see you. Zayna, right?
Yes.
Right. So, Zayna, I just want to say, on behalf of the faculty and the school, I'm really sorry for what you've been put through. I want you to know you're not alone. There's a group of us faculty members and some staff that are quite outraged. We've organized a response.
Professor Patterson.
Yes? Please, Zayna, don't be afraid to tell me what you want to say. I'm here to help.
I recused Professor Jacks of all wrongdoing. I apologize to the president formally in writing for my behavior. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. Professor Jacks does not deserve any disciplinary action.
Zayna moves to exit.
Zayna.
What?
Can we just slow down for a second?
I have to get to my next class. I just heard that you were getting involved, and I just wanted you to know Professor Jacks does not deserve to be punished. I'm the one to blame.
Zayna, please stop saying that you're the one to blame.
Why? It's true.
It may very well be, Zayna, but you're not the only one to blame. It really hurts me to see you shoulder all of the responsibility here. Please, we should talk. Won't you sit down?
I have to get to...
I understand, but this is important too. Who's your professor?
Dr. Andres.
Okay, I will explain to Dr. Andres that I kept you. He'll understand. Please, sit down, Zayna. Do me that favor.
Zayna sits.
Would you like some chocolate?
No, thank you.
Sure. It's Godiva, the real deal.
Okay, maybe one.
Look, Zayna.
Wow, that's good.
Right?
Like ridiculous.
You have another.
Oh no, I can't. They're sinful.
I know. You're doing me a favor by eating them. Zayna, I take it you like Professor Jacks. Am I right?
Professor Patterson.
No. As a teacher, I'm saying. You think he's a good teacher, yeah?
He is a good teacher. He cares a lot.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt it. But before I heard anything about this, I always admired Edgar Jacks. But throughout my education and training, I've had many teachers that I really connected with. People I thought were brilliant. Teachers I would have done almost anything for. One in particular comes to mind. Dr. Ryan Langer, my PhD advisor.
He wanted to sleep with you, right?
Well, yes, he did. But please, let me tell you the story. I have a great way of laying it out.
Did you sleep with him?
Well, yes, I did. But let me just tell you the story.
Wow.
I know. Life, right? What are you going to do? Stuff happens. Dr. Langer and I grew close. He was a real mentor to me. I respected him so much, and I had the hots for him. I won't lie to you, but do you know why I slept with him, Zayna?
'Cause it's your body and who cares what anyone else thinks?
No, Zayna. I slept with him because he really liked my work. He believed in me. He thought my ideas were groundbreaking. He was sending around my writing, bragging about how much his student was accomplishing. And without his positive reinforcement, Zayna, I would have never had the confidence to accomplish what I did. I needed his encouragement. We got close. He started asking if I would do certain favors for him.
Seriously?
But no, not favors like that. He'd ask me to babysit for his kids.
Oh, he had kids.
He was married. Happily, supposedly.
Shit.
It is right. I was afraid to tell him that I didn't want to sit for his kids, so I sat for his kids.
Wow, you slept with him and sat for his kids. That's pretty messed up.
I know. And I really wish you hadn't figured out I slept with him. This story is going to be really anticlimactic now.
Sorry. It was inevitable. Only one way for the story to end, given the circumstances.
I suppose. The point is, Zayna, I was afraid to not sit for his kids. I worried that if I refused, he would no longer like me. I was scared that he would no longer think my work was any good.
If he changed his mind just because you wouldn't sit for his kids, he couldn't have thought very much of your work to begin with.
Right. And you understand that because you're smart. Smarter than I was. But I was caught up in it. I couldn't think it through so clearly. So I sucked it up. Told myself that I enjoyed sitting for his kids, and I tried to be happy that I was helping him out. But then a week before I was to defend my dissertation, he took me out to dinner to celebrate all my hard work. It was a really expensive restaurant.
Well, yeah, he wanted to get in your pants.
Thank you. He made a pass. I didn't say no. I knew it was wrong. He was married with kids that I sat for. I slept with him anyway.
Your choice.
Except it wasn't, Zayna. Do you see that? I only slept with him that night because I couldn't afford not to have him on my side at my dissertation defense.
I get it.
It was a really shitty position to put me in, Zayna. I can't forgive him for that. But even worse than that, I still hate myself to this day because I didn't have the strength to send him packing. You get it?
You chose to sleep with him.
Yes, I did. And I blame myself. But I blame him too. I don't deserve all the responsibility. He deserves some of it too.
So you complained to the dean and got him fired.
No. I've kept my mouth shut about it until now. We're still in touch. He sends me a Christmas card every year.
Wow. You really showed him, huh?
I still regret how I handled it, and I still hate myself for it.
So now you want to see Edgar Jacks pay for the sins of your mentor.
No, I don't. I want to prevent you from spending the rest of your life hating yourself.
Too late for that. With all due respect, Professor, I came here to tell you I really don't need your help.
I know you don't. But this situation is bigger than yourself.
I've already arranged to transfer next semester. I just want to get through the semester.
See? That's not fair. Why should you have to transfer?
It's my choice.
I understand. It's your choice. You're taking control. I respect that. But it's still unfair.
Do you have any idea how embarrassing this is for me?
I can imagine.
No, I don't know if you can. There are pictures of me in my underwear circulating around to members of the administration. All the others have been asked to speak with Meyer one-on-one. They're freaking out. They stopped talking to me. My best friend in the world, Amina, the other girl wearing a hijab, told her parents what happened. Her parents called my parents. Do you understand that? Every aspect of my life is now tainted by this. The other girls didn't know anything about Professor Jacks. We were just hanging out one night, screwing around, being silly, and I dared them to let me take sexy pictures of them in their underwear. They didn't know I was gonna use them.
Oh. Zayna.
I know. I'm terrible. And it's not like they knew, or it's not like I knew that I would use them or how I'd use them. They were all just being stupid. They're all so pissed at me. They won't even acknowledge my presence.
I understand how you feel.
Yeah, I don't blame them. And I've lost their friendship. I'm paying the price. I can accept that. I just need this whole thing to go away so that they don't continue to suffer from my stupidity. Don't you get it? I'm not here to protect Professor Jacks. I'm just trying to make sure my friends can get on with their lives.
Did Edgar Jacks ask for those pictures?
No.
No?
He didn't ask me for them. I just sent them.
I'm sorry. I'm just finding this hard to believe.
You're calling me a liar.
No. I'm not saying I'm not. Look, I know it's easier for you to believe that you did this. It's easier to feel like you're in control.
Look, this is how it went down. I took Jax's class. I really liked it. He's very charismatic and he seemed to know what he's talking about. So I figured I could learn a lot from this guy. I started taking him up on office hours. The material was really confusing and he would help me. We got to know each other and I started to sense that he was attracted to me.
Right? Right. See? Now you're getting into objectionable territory.
No.
What did he do?
Nothing.
A hand on your knee? A lingering stare?
Nothing. I was just reading his mind. I wasn't even sure if I was right. It was just a hunch, you know? You just know.
Okay.
I got more comfortable with him, and one day I got a little cheeky.
What do you mean cheeky?
I started flirting with him. I wanted to see what he'd do. I started to get self-deprecating about it. I called myself fat and ugly. He tried to comfort me. He told me I was beautiful and that I was, in fact, his type.
And then he asked you for the pictures.
Nope. I just felt that the exchange needed a button.
This is not funny.
I agree.
You cover your head.
So
you feel the need to walk around campus with your head covered, and yet you're happy taking pictures of yourself in your underwear for the pleasure of a professor?
what can I tell you? When you have an upbringing like mine, you rebel by doing really weird things. For 18 years, I was a good student doing what was expected of me. Now, I'm in college. And then I'll be married, and then I'll have to look respectable for the rest of my life. This is the only chance I get to be stupid. And I took it. My best friend, Yossi, is an Orthodox Jew. I told him I'd get him laid if he went out and got cheeseburgers with us, and he did. That's what college is for. You try things. I should have never sent Professor Jacks those pictures. I know that now. It was my mistake. I'll have to live with that forever. But now I just need my friends to stop being punished for my stupidity.
Zayna.
I know. I deserve it all.
No. Look, I'm not saying you didn't make a mistake.
Good.
But you're going to get through this. I'm going to help you.
You want to help me? Drop it. Let me get through this semester with as little humiliation as possible.
Blackout. Scene 4. Tom's office. Edgar sits across from Tom.
It's good to see you.
Thanks.
You disappeared. No one's seen you for days.
If you were in my place, wouldn't you disappear for a while?
I guess it's a fair point.
Look, I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Yes.
I want to be as honest as possible here.
All right, stop right there.
I want to lay all the cards on the table.
I don't want to see your cards.
I want McCabe to have all the facts on the record.
No, that won't be necessary.
And if this university thinks that I shouldn't teach here,
No, Edgar.
then I'll leave.
No, you won't have to leave. It's over. Meyer is dropping the issue.
What?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Why?
What do you mean, why? You don't want him to? You don't think he should?
No, I mean, it's amazing, but
One of the girls sent him a letter.
Zayna.
She took full responsibility, recused you of all wrongdoing. She apologized, and she's transferring.
She's transferring.
Wouldn't you?
I don't know. The whole thing is not sitting right with me.
It's not sitting right with you. Edgar, you almost brought down your entire academic career. You dodged a bullet. It's a freaking miracle. What's not sitting right with you?
She doesn't deserve all the blame.
Edgar.
I'm partly responsible.
Wow, Edgar. Really?
It's true, Tom.
Can I just bring you back to reality? You effectively just pulled a pin out of a grenade in your living room, okay? There's no reason why you and everyone you love shouldn't be dead right now, but by some miracle of God, the grenade ended up being a dud, okay? There's no logic to it. You just got lucky. Now you can just put a padlock on the arsenal and walk away. Pretend this didn't happen.
She shouldn't have to transfer.
No. She doesn't have to transfer. She's choosing to. She's embarrassed, and that's inevitable. There's nothing anyone can do to spare her that embarrassment. And frankly, no one thinks it's a bad idea.
Don't you at least want to know what my involvement was?
I would rather not know that this happened in the first place. The less I know, the better.
The university, then.
Edgar, what is the matter with you? The case is being dismissed. Why the hell are you so eager to appear before the judge?
Because I behaved inappropriately. And I deserve to be judged. This innocent girl.
Innocent? Edgar, she sent you half-naked pictures of herself.
Because she knew I wanted them.
And I want to see naked pictures of just about any woman on this campus, and that information would probably not surprise any of them. but I'm pretty sure none of them would even think to send me pictures of themselves. Something's not right with this girl.
No, she's a very sweet girl.
I am sure she is, but there's plenty of sweet people in the world who legitimately need help.
She wanted to feel desired, Tom. She knew I found her attractive.
Did you ask her to take naked pictures of herself, Edgar?
Well, no.
No.
Not initially, no.
Not initially?
Not exactly.
Okay, well then, as far as I'm concerned, the student is responsible for her actions.
I may have intimated that she should keep him coming.
No, shut up.
I told her I wanted to see more.
Stop talking. I don't want to hear this.
I told her I have a thing for Middle Eastern girls. That's why she got her friends involved.
All right, get out of my office. We didn't have this meeting today.
I masturbated to the pictures, Tom, in my office.
Edgar, Jesus, way too much information, okay?
You need to know this.
No, I really don't. I don't want to know.
I don't know if I should be teaching anymore.
Okay, so resign. What do you want from me? You want to pull me down for not acting on information that I had? You want to bring down the whole fucking department?
No.
Then button the fuck up. Or resign if you can't live with yourself.
No, Tom. I'm not going to volunteer to fall on my sword. I can't. I can't. If the department thinks I'm not fit to teach, then I need to be fired.
You want to be fired?
No. I want to be judged by the system. If we live in a just society, then the only way to be just is to place ourselves at the mercy of that justice.
How Socratic of you.
Yeah, well, Socrates is my guy.
There's a knock at the door.
Go away!
I'm not in a position to be able to decide if I deserve to carry on with my career. The institution needs to make that determination.
There's more knocking.
I said not now.
I promise to comply with whatever determination is made.
Edgar gets up. Diane pokes her head in, and she sees Edgar.
Diane.
I'm sorry, Tom.
I said not now.
It's okay. You can come in. I was just leaving.
Edgar, I didn't realize you were back.
Yep, I'm back. Miss me?
Please excuse us. I really need to finish with Edgar.
You haven't responded to my emails. It's time sensitive.
I couldn't respond to you. I'm awaiting instructions from Maya.
Well, I'm on my way to meet Meyer.
To discuss?
Zayna Nafari.
God's sakes, Diane, are you serious?
Sorry, Edgar.
No, don't be.
You teach in my department.
I understand that. But the president needs to understand how the members of this faculty feel. And if you won't convey that to him, I will.
Let me get out of your way so that you and Tom can discuss this openly.
No. Stay, Edgar. I won't say anything to Tom that I'm not willing to say directly to you.
Really?
I don't want to go behind your back. I'm not two-faced. I think you behaved inappropriately.
Thank you.
I'm just being honest with you. You don't have to be snide with me.
No, I'm not being snide. I meant it sincerely. Thank you.
I don't know what happened between you and Zayna and any of those girls.
No, nor is it any of your business.
And I don't expect you to tell me. I have no interest in seeing you fired or watching your reputation go to hell. But I don't think the university should drop the case. It's too big of an issue.
I agree.
You agree?
Yes.
You do know you've been recused, right?
I do, yes.
But you don't want the case dropped?
I want the university to make an official determination about my future.
Oh. Why?
Because I'm just like you, Diane. I want to be good. I want to be honest.
Is there anything you want me to know before I meet with Meyer?
No, there isn't. Jesus Christ, this is so inappropriate right now.
It's a free country. I'm entitled to voice my concerns to Meyer, and I'm allowed to talk to my colleague here if he's willing to confide in me.
She's right. You can't blame her for being concerned. What kind of a teacher would she be if she didn't care?
Thank you.
What do you want to know? I'll answer any questions you have as honestly as I know how.
Did you get off on those pictures?
Oh, Jesus. Diane, cut to the chase, why don't you?
Well,
I did.
Oh, Christ, are you kidding me, Edgar?
did you request that she send you those pictures?
Don't answer that.
Don't answer that. Who are you? His attorney?
Not the first time.
Not the first time. So pictures were sent to you on more than one occasion?
Yes.
And you encouraged them?
Possibly.
Okay, you know what? If neither of you will listen to what I have to say, then you can both get out of my office. I'm done with you.
I'm sorry, Tom. No one's trying to defy you deliberately.
I was trying to look out for you.
I appreciate that. But Diane is going about this the right way. If I deserve to remain on the faculty, then I will.
I obviously can't stop you if you crave your own destruction, but let's just hope that you don't bring anyone else down with you. And you, Diane, I still haven't received your final response to the revised course load proposal.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
End of the day, Diane, or I'm going to have a meeting with Meyer.
You'll have it. Come on, Edgar. I just have a few more questions.
Diane exits.
I appreciate you looking out for me, Tom. I just want to make sure everyone's doing the right thing.
Grow the fuck up. You think I haven't wanted to see my students naked? Of course I have. But I sure as hell am not going to go around talking about it. Least of all to a female member of the faculty who's on a fucking crusade. The university wants to recuse you. Beyond that, anything that happened between you and the girl is nobody's business but your own.
I'm doing this for myself, Tom. I'm trying to clear my own conscience. I'm not trying to help anyone but myself.
That woman out there, she's not your friend.
Edgar exits. Scene 5. Diane and Edgar walking across campus.
I have to admit, Edgar, I didn't give you enough credit.
Oh?
I figured you'd be interested in covering this whole thing up, hoping like hell it would all go away.
Don't get me wrong. I wish to God those pictures hadn't been found, but they were. And I feel bad.
So why not resign?
This university is my whole life. And I'm not some superstar academic. So where else am I going to get another tenured position?
I appreciate that, Edgar. But you did what you did. If you're really interested in taking responsibility for your actions, you should accept the proper punishment.
And what are the actions that I should accept punishment for?
You're asking me? Did you sleep with those girls?
No.
Did you want to?
Yes. Is that my crime? Is it incumbent on a professor to resign as soon as he experiences lust for one of his students?
Only if he goes so far as to ask the student to help him get off.
You honestly think I would have had the balls to ask Zayna to take pictures of herself in her underwear and send them to me? Come on, Diane. You know me. I lose sleep before voting for salary increases at union meetings.
So it had nothing to do with you? Zayna is a depraved whore, and she deserves to transfer in shame. Is that it?
Oh, come on. Why so judgmental? Why does someone deserve to be crucified? Isn't it just possible that Zayna acted on a human impulse, and that's just what people do?
If she sent you those pictures unsolicited, then her behavior was completely inappropriate. And you should have called her on it and demand that she stop.
That's right. That's what I should have done. No question. But I didn't. So I'm not the Pope. Newsflash.
You don't get it, do you, Edgar?
No, I guess I don't. So explain it to me.
You're her teacher. You hold a small fraction of her future in your hands. Why do you think she sent you those pictures?
Tell me. For a better grade? What?
Possibly. Or maybe just because she wanted you to like her. You hold power over her. You honestly think she'd have sent you those pictures if you just randomly met her at a bar?
She's Muslim. I don't expect she drinks.
Oh, God, you are so frustrating.
Just trying to lighten the mood.
This is serious, Edgar. I know your buddy, the department head in there, doesn't think so, but it is. And I'll be damned if Meyer doesn't take this situation seriously.
Look, I know it's serious, okay? That's why I'm trying not to convince you to cancel with Meyer. I'm glad you're making an issue out of this. I didn't stop Zayna from sending me those pictures, okay? And I may have encouraged her to. Do I deserve to have my career terminated over it? I don't know. Not clearly enough to resign. But I'm not impartial. No one should leave it up to me. That has to be Meyer's call.
Except Meyer is a man.
What does that mean?
It means, yet again, a powerless woman finds herself at the mercy of the system run by men.
And you don't trust that system?
That's right. I don't.
Good. So go make your case to Meyer.
I will.
Good. You know, for the record, you have no idea what possessed Zayna to send me those pictures. Do you?
No. I have no idea.
That's right. So maybe, just maybe, it's incumbent upon you to exercise a modicum of humility here, and maybe just an ounce of empathy.
I have plenty of empathy for Zayna.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Good.
But that's not what you mean. You want me to empathize with you for your inability to resist masturbating to naked pictures of your students. I have no empathy for that, because that is simply unacceptable. And you're right. I will never know what possessed Zayna to send you those pictures. That's not what concerns me. My concern is that she'll never know why she sent you those pictures. You don't deserve to be fired because you're a bad guy. You deserve to be fired because you had the opportunity to be better and you failed.
Diane's phone rings. She doesn't recognize the number.
Hello? This is Diane. Kelly McManus. Channel 11? Very funny, Bethany. Pretty convincing. Your degree in theater really paid off. You had me going. Yeah, I totally want you to text me a selfie. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Kelly. I figured someone was having fun with me. Oh, I do believe she studied theater in college. Yes. How did you get my number? Joyce in President Meyer's office. No, 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 no. It's fine. I don't know if she should have, but viral. Can you hang on a second? Hey, you got a phone on you?
Yeah.
Google Zayna Nafari.
Edgar takes out his phone and Googles. There's a long pause as the search loads on Edgar's phone.
Holy fuck.
Can I ask you who brought this to your attention? Well, how the hell did it go viral? How does anything go viral indeed? Yes, I do know he's been recused. I'm off to a meeting with President Meyer now. No, I have plenty to say on the subject. I need to get back to you. Yeah. At this number? Okay, give me an hour.
Diane hangs up.
She's all over the place.
Yeah, I gathered that.
That was Kelly McManus?
She wants you. Looks like her to me.
She wants you to comment.
Evidently.
You're gonna? It's Kelly McManus, Diane. I realize you want to stand up for what's right, but don't let Zayna turn into clickbait.
She's already clickbait, and she has you to thank for it.
It's just a stupid meme right now, Diane. Here today, gone tomorrow. You talk to Kelly McManus? It'll be a whole other thing.
People need to be having this conversation. It shouldn't be glossed over, if only to embolden other young women who have felt manipulated and harassed by their superiors to stand up and say enough is enough. McManus has an audience.
Yeah, for a reason. And it's nothing you want to be associated with.
You want other people to determine if you deserve to be fired? You want to be judged? You're getting what you want.
This is what you call empathy?
Diane exits. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 6. At Rise, Claire sits in her bathrobe smoking a cigarette. Edgar enters. Claire does not look at him. There's an awkward silence between them. Edgar starts to talk.
Hi.
Hi? Where have you been?
Just came from the office.
Yeah. What about for the last 5 days?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was just, driving.
Where did you go?
Lake George. Then Buffalo. Then up to Niagara Falls and back.
You could have picked up a phone.
I know. I just needed to think.
Yeah, evidently. But how am I supposed to know that you didn't end up at the bottom of Lake George?
I'm sorry to make you worry.
You know, I was going to call the cops. I just didn't want to draw more attention to this.
I'm sorry.
So what's the story?
You know the story. And now so does the rest of America.
What are you talking about? The university decided to drop it.
Pictures are all over the internet. They went viral. And now Diane is giving a television interview. Kelly McManus.
The university is sending her on Kelly McManus?
Nope. They wanted to shut the fuck up. But she's going rogue.
Well, she can't do that.
Yes, she can. She is. The university may not like it, but she's doing it anyway.
I don't fucking believe this.
I'm sorry.
For what, Ed? I don't even know what happened. I mean, you haven't told me anything.
What do you want me to tell you?
What, I'm supposed to ask you questions? Is this how this works? I get my own private press conference before the news trucks arrive on my lawn tomorrow morning?
I don't know what to tell you, Claire.
You don't know what to tell me or how to tell me?
Either way.
Well, let's just jump in with 2 feet, Ed. Did you fuck these girls or not?
Oh, God! Of course not!
Okay, well, that's a pretty good place to start, don't you think? Okay, so our first phone call is to Michael.
No, I do not want to talk to Michael.
I don't give a fuck what you want or not. You can't just go around shooting your mouth off. We need carefully crafted language that we know won't land you in more trouble.
It doesn't matter, Claire. If I deserve to be fired, I should be. I accept that. Brought this on myself.
You said you're not guilty.
I said I didn't have sex with these girls.
Oh, you stop fucking around here, Ed. I am your wife. I don't want to hear some, oh, I did not have sexual relations with that woman bullshit. Okay? We'll figure out what we're going to do in our marriage when this calms down, but first we got to deal with the legalities. So what happened? Some Indian girl blew you? You felt up a Muslim under her burqa? Lay it out for me, Ed, because I'm a big girl. I can handle it.
I wanted the pictures. I masturbated to them.
Wow. I really underestimated just how awkward this conversation could be.
Sorry.
What do you mean you wanted the pictures? You asked for them? You called these women into your office and say, let me just get some pictures of you girls in your underwear so I can jack off to them? What'd you do? Offer extra credit. Now, it won't help your grade, but if you happen to be on the cusp of an A- and a B+.
We not be cute.
I am not being cute, Edgar. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, okay? How does this happen? How does such a conversation come up between a college student and her professor? I mean, you'll excuse me, I teach 2nd grade, so I don't have much of an opportunity to barter sexual favors with my students.
I got clumsy with one of my students.
Yeah, I'll say.
I made a remark about having a thing for Middle Eastern girls. And she just sent me a picture of herself. Maybe as a joke, maybe not. I don't know.
So you didn't ask for it?
After that, I intimated that I'd be interested in seeing others.
You intimated?
I didn't tell her to stop.
Wait a minute. You didn't tell her to stop, or you intimated?
Same difference.
Bullshit. Jesus. What the hell is the matter with you?
It's a fetish, Claire.
So go to the 7-Eleven and flirt with the cashier. You don't hit up your fucking students. Jesus. This ought to be our problem, one that comes up in marriage counseling or some shit, not on the fucking news.
I'm sorry. When you're not getting what you need, you get lonely, you know?
So this is my fault?
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I mean, you haven't made a move to touch me in, I don't even know how long, Edgar. It's me that initiates every fucking time, and you know how demoralizing that is.
I know.
It's my fault because I refuse to be overweight or because I'm not Muslim.
Claire.
You know, I'll put on some weight if I have to, but I draw the line at a burqa.
Claire?
Is this what you want? You want to end this marriage so you can run off with some plump young number from Fallujah? I'm asking you seriously. What do you want? I mean, what are we doing?
These are just random desires, nothing serious.
Except for the fact that you've thrown away your entire career for them.
Yeah, well, that's my tragedy.
Your tragedy.
Yeah.
So have you resigned yet?
No. I'm thinking about it. I probably should.
Maybe you should ask if they'll transfer you to the Dubai campus.
Claire.
You sick fuck.
Blackout. Scene 7. Zayna sits in her bed in her dorm room. She's surfing the internet on a laptop. She grows more and more distressed. When she can't take it anymore, she crosses to her desk and opens the drawer. She takes out a pill bottle. She takes a pill with a bottle of water. She gets back in bed and lays down with defeat. After a few seconds, her cell phone rings.
Hello? Noor. Hi. How are you? No. I'm pretty fucking awful. No. Why? Are you serious? What channel?
Zayna picks up a remote and turns on the television. We hear a newscast already in progress, the voice of an anchor woman.
Which we know is rampant in the adult world. It takes many forms, the promise of a promotion or a pay raise. But lately, we've heard reports of increasing harassment on college campuses. One particular story, none other than our very own
Noor, are you still there?
Where provocative pictures of several female students were found in a philosophy professor's desk. Perhaps even more intriguing is the fact that all of the students appear to be foreign, of Middle Eastern descent. Joining me now to comment on the situation is a literature professor at McCabe, Diane Patterson.
Lights up on Diane sitting at a news desk.
Thank you so much for joining us, Diane.
Thank you, Kelly.
What's your take on the culture at McCabe?
Well, Kelly, sexual harassment is a real phenomenon, not just in academia, but anywhere in which individuals hold power or sway over others. Academia certainly fits that bill, but so does the corporate world or any place of business. The important thing is for increased awareness.
And these women, they're all Muslim?
Well, McCabe is not in the habit of inquiring about our students' religion, Kelly. And it doesn't matter. Harassment is harassment, if you're Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, Christian, or atheist. Harassment is harassment is harassment, and concerned faculty and staff at McCabe want to see it eradicated from our institution.
And what do we know about Edgar Jacks?
Well, I've known Edgar, Professor Jacks, for a number of years. He's quite a popular professor at McCabe. So you can imagine how devastated we all were to learn of this incident.
What about his political affiliations?
Well, I'm sorry, his political affiliations?
Might he harbor sympathies or even an acquaintance with any organization around the world that we might consider nefarious?
Nefarious? Nefarious? Kelly, really don't want to get into Professor Jack's political views. We're looking to do right by our students at McCabe. We're not interested in a political debate.
Forgive me, Professor Patterson. What I mean is, since all these girls happen to be Muslim.
We don't know that.
Sorry, of Middle Eastern descent. Well, let me cut right to the chase. Our sources tell us that after those pictures were found, Edgar paid a visit to the upstate New York region.
Yeah, so?
So some people may want to know if he had a contact in that region that he needed to communicate with.
A contact?
In Islamburg.
Islamburg?
Yeah. You know, I mean, this is not my idea, but there are many who allege that the Muslim community in Islamburg is stockpiling weapons.
Kelly, as far as I know, Edgar was on his way to Niagara Falls.
And that sounds innocent on its face, but there is perhaps another way for us to connect the dots.
Connect the dots?
What I mean is, considering all of these women appear to be Muslim, I have to ask what Edgar Jack's interest in the Muslim world is all about. I mean, have these girls been used by a militant Islamic organization to recruit his sympathies?
Kelly, please. These are just students at...
About Muslim students.
Their religion is immaterial.
Is it, Professor? Are you prepared to say that with 100% certainty?
You're suggesting that because these girls are Muslim, that means that Edgar Jacks is participating in Islamic terrorism?
I know it's a leap, but I'm just trying to make sense of this whole situation. I'm merely raising a question about whether or not there are dots that have yet be connected.
I think you're manufacturing dots and connecting them as you see fit. These students are victims of sexual harassment, Kelly. That's what we're talking about. They're not Islamic operatives. Frankly, your insinuation that a suspicion of terrorism is inevitable on the grounds of their ethnicity is, well, frankly, quite offensive.
Well, I certainly don't mean to be offensive, Professor, but
you're asking me about Islamic terrorists simply because those girls are of Middle Eastern descent.
I'm just trying to address the elephant in the room, Professor. Excuse me, forgive me. And with all due respect, we have reason to believe that the professor's interest in these girls may be more than lascivious. I mean, they're not exactly fashion models, are they?
Excuse me?
I know. Forgive me, Professor.
You're suggesting that Edgar Jacks is affiliated with terrorists simply because these girls are not conventionally attractive.
Overweight, more specifically, and Muslim. And it's not such a random association, and I'm not suggesting anything, I'm just asking the question. I mean, we do know that Zayna Nafari is a devout Muslim.
Kelly, that is completely inappropriate. I must insist that you leave out the identity of our students.
No disrespect to Miss Nafari, but she's not exactly... Well, you know, so why would Edgar Jacks engage in...
Well, I suppose you'll just have to question Edgar about his taste in women. But I find your suggestion that these girls are not sufficiently attractive to be harassed, to be disgusting.
I'm just trying to address...
And your link to Islamic terrorism on the basis of a woman's religion and ethnicity is downright racist. Kelly, you should be ashamed of yourself. Furthermore, your willingness to invoke the weight of an innocent young woman is reprehensible. As a woman, you should know better.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Professor. I'm just trying to ask the hard questions. I understand and appreciate your objections, and I thank you for your...
Diane removes her earpiece, effectively ending the interview. Zayna turns off the television. Lights fade to black. Scene 8. Diane's office. She's frazzled and obviously tense. She searches her desk for a notepad. She moves large stacks of paper around her desk to look for it. Finally, she grabs a pen and stands up to leave when there is a knock at the door.
Come in.
Zayna enters.
Zayna, come in. I was just heading off to meet with our union, but no. I'll wait. Sit down.
I don't want to sit down, Diane.
Okay? Don't sit down. Look, I'm really sorry, Zayna. I went on the air to discuss harassment. I don't know where the interview went.
You know where it went, Diane. It went to terrorism. And then it moved on to the fact that I'm fat.
I'm sorry about that.
They brought it up because I'm Muslim. And clearly, all Muslims are all just a bunch of jihadi terrorists. And then they discussed my weight because evidently I'm too disgusting to get a college professor interested in fucking me.
Zayna.
Sorry about the language. To get a college professor interested in frickin' me.
We live in an Islamophobic country, Zayna.
We do? Wow. Why don't you tell me more about that, Diane?
It's racist and disgusting. I apologize.
Why? You're not the Islamophobe, are you? I asked you to drop it. I took full responsibility. I begged you to drop it.
I know.
So you go on Channel 11 to discuss my weight.
No. It got out of hand, Zayna. I went on Channel 11 to raise awareness about sexual harassment. I never intended to discuss anything about you. I expected them to respect your privacy.
You expected a news reporter to respect my privacy.
You weren't the issue.
Well, I'm kind of the issue now. You have any idea how many blog posts I've read about whether or not I'm attractive enough to be sexually harassed?
Sorry. There's no way to excuse that. I'm just sorry. There's nothing else I can tell you. You have to know that I had the best intentions at heart.
I asked you to leave it alone. If you wanted to help me, then...
Bigger than you.
According to Channel 11 News, there's very little bigger than me.
I was just standing up for women, Zayna. Don't you see? Innocent, defenseless women. Like yourself.
Women. You went on television and discussed my weight to take a stand for women.
Yes. And I never intended to discuss your weight or anything about you, Zayna.
And now my reputation, my dignity, my life, just a casualty of your battle. Is that it?
I'm sorry.
Are they right?
About what?
Am I disgusting? Am I too fat and ugly for a man to have any interest in me sexually?
Zayna.
What?
Listen to me. Very carefully. You are a beautiful woman, okay? We live in a very ugly world filled with crass people who are cruel and hateful. You can't let those disgusting people shape how you see yourself. You're absolutely beautiful. And more importantly, you're brave and you're strong and you're intelligent. That's why you'll fight this. You'll fight the chauvinists, you'll fight the racists, and you won't allow yourself to be objectified, not as a woman and not as a Muslim. I'm sorry you'll have to fight this battle. It's unfair, and you shouldn't have to, but that's the world we live in for now. So let's fight, and I'll fight for you, with you.
Allahu Akbar! Uncomfortable? Just thought I'd make an effort to be more consistent with people's ideas of me.
Lights fade to black. Scene 9. Edgar and Claire's living room. Claire is paying the bills. The doorbell rings. She opens the door to reveal Zayna.
Is he here?
You're
Zayna.
right. I didn't know your name, but
I'm one of his students.
oh, I know who you are.
I really need to talk to him. Is he here?
Come in. Can I get you something? Coffee, soda, tequila?
Tequila.
Whatever. You could probably use something strong.
I don't drink.
Right, of course. Silly me. I should have known that.
No, I'm not 21 yet.
Oh, I see. How sobering. Well, I'll get you a Coke.
No, please. I can't stay. Would you mind just getting Edgar? I just need a minute.
Well, he's not here. Exactly.
He's not.
No.
Zayna makes a beeline for the door.
Did you wait?
What?
I am expecting him
When?
shortly. So, let's talk.
Why?
Well, why not? I'll get you that Coke.
I'm not thirsty. Look, this is awkward and kind of awful.
Right. So, let's just talk.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, I'm sure that you are. And you'll probably continue to be. But don't be sorry for my sake. I mean, it's not entirely your fault, is it? His own desires played into it, didn't they? At a certain point, Edgar deserves to take responsibility for them.
I really do need to go.
Come on, Zayna. You're a big girl. You knew what you were doing when you sent Edgar those pictures. Because you knew he'd use them to get off.
I really don't want to hear about that.
Oh, you don't want to hear about that?
He's my professor. I respect him.
You respect him. And so you stripped down to your underwear, took pictures of yourself, and sent them to him. I mean, I know I'm of a different generation, but that just seems like a very odd way of showing someone you respect him.
I wasn't thinking. I was just following an impulse.
Oh, no, believe me. Oh, that I understand. It's just your pretensions toward respect that I find somewhat dubious. Please, don't get me wrong here. I'm not the least bit angry at you for what you did. Part of me is even grateful.
Grateful. Why?
It's complicated. I mean, I've been married to Edgar for 20 years now. How easy do you think it is to keep a man's interest for that long?
Interest?
Yeah. Sexually. I mean, his natural desire for me was only going to last so long. Eventually, they all get bored. But you and your friends gave him a little something to reignite his passions. And believe me, it did reignite his passions. I mean, when a man clenches his eyes that tight when he's making love to you, you know you have to figure you're not the one he's ejaculating over.
Okay, I need to go.
Oh, don't do that. Don't get uncomfortable on me. We're just women. We're all grown up. We should be able to talk about things like this.
Maybe you should be able to talk about these things, but this is not me.
Oh, it's not, is it? Oh, it's a little self-righteous of you, don't you think?
I just mean it's not how I was raised.
How you were raised? To never talk about sex? To never acknowledge your own needs and desires? Doing whatever to please your husband, never raising your voice to him, or always keeping yourself about 5 feet behind him when you're walking down the street. Maybe it means keeping your entire body hidden under a cloth while sucking his cock.
You're hateful.
No, please. I'm really not.
No, you really are.
No, please. I'm really asking these questions for my own good. I mean, you see, you're the one Edgar desires, not me. So I figure, what do I have to do to be a little more like you? Well, perhaps you have a burqa somewhere that you can loan me for a little late night role playing.
I'm so sorry I came here.
Oh, don't be. Do me a favor. Keep sending Edgar those pictures. It'll keep him nice and hot for me. I'll even pay you, provided you're willing to go a little further. I mean, show him a little nipple, a hit of the Midlands, subtle. Nothing too in your face. I mean, he doesn't like that sort of thing.
You don't have to tell me what Edgar likes. I know.
Good for you. Then keep it coming.
I'm not your whore.
No, you're not my whore.
Claire throws Zayna a pill bottle. She catches it.
Here.
What are these?
A parting gift. A token of encouragement from me to you.
What are they?
Well, diet pills. Just in case you ever change your mind and want to keep snapping those photos. I mean, a businesswoman should never stop improving her product.
Zayna exits with the pillbox as the lights fade to black. Scene 10. The conference room once again. Tom, Pat, Murray, and Diane sit around the table.
What the hell, Diane?
It got out of hand. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Who the hell asked you to give an interview? Did McCabe's PR department ask you to go there?
No.
No.
You may even be in violation of the confidentiality agreement you signed, Diane. You could be brought up for review.
I know. I'm meeting with HR today.
Seriously?
Seriously.
All right, maybe you should recuse yourself from this meeting.
I'm not fired yet, Tom. I'm still entitled to be part of departmental meetings.
Of course you are. I just think you have bigger fish to fry than course load. Maybe you want to prepare for your meeting with HR.
I did nothing wrong. I divulged nothing about the university that would violate confidentiality. I was asked to comment on the state of sexual harassment on college campuses. I'm a college professor, which makes me something of an authority on the subject.
You were discussing the weight of one of our students on television. You were commenting on her looks.
I was defending her. You think I wanted the conversation to go there? I didn't want to discuss Zayna. I was trying to raise awareness about sexual harassment.
And they wanted to talk about Islamic terrorists.
Okay, so Kelly McManus of Channel 11 is an ignorant racist. How is that my fault?
Because you should have known better. You think people in this country give a shit about whether some Muslim girl is being sexually harassed? No. They want to know if she's wearing a bomb under her burqa.
Well, that's fucked up.
It is fucked up. No one is disputing that, but that's the reality. That's the world we live in.
I was trying to stand up for her. I was trying to stand up for women.
You were trying to stand up for Zayna or for women?
It's the same fucking thing.
Well, now there's a public discussion happening about whether or not Zayna is attractive.
And a terrorist.
Right.
University is going to let it go. Don't you think that that would have been a better way to protect her?
Edgar enters.
Wait. Harper was really backed up.
It always is.
What the hell are you doing here?
It's a department meeting, is it not? I haven't been asked to resign yet.
This is such bullshit. You're the one who admits jacking off to pictures of students, and I'm the one who's asked to meet with HR?
You admitted to jacking off to those pictures?
In his office.
In your office?
I did.
Why?
Because it's true.
Oh, Jesus, man, you need help.
I need help because I jacked off in my office.
No, you need help because you're happy to stand around talking about it.
I just want to be honest, brother. I'm not interested in covering anything up. I behaved badly, that's clear. Now, if I behave badly enough to be fired, I'll accept that. I'll stand firm and take any punishment if anyone bothers to judge me.
You're an honest man, Edgar. And you're brave. I admire that.
Really, Murray? You admire that?
Honesty and courage? Hell yes.
Courage to exploit? Courage to objectify?
None of that. Just the courage and honesty to admit it.
And that, my friends, my friends, is the world according to men. The courage to be disgusting is held up as virtue. You people disgust me.
Diane exits.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm just trying to take responsibility. I never wanted this issue to take over the department.
I'm over, Diane. Everyone is doing what they have to. We'll let the chips fall where they may.
She's pretty pissed at Edgar.
And she has a right to be.
Absolutely.
Agreed. She doesn't have the right to go rogue and talk to the press. The university needs to be on top of making public statements.
Tom, can I say something?
Please do.
I get being attracted to your students. Believe me, I do. In fact, I have a confession to make. You all know about my husband, Bruce. We had a great relationship. We still do. And I love him very much.
Pat, if you're about to tell us that you're cheating on Bruce with one of your students, I'm going to throw an industrial strength stapler at your head.
I'm not cheating on Bruce.
But you're thinking about it.
Bruce was my student.
What? What?
So I didn't know that.
When? You married Bruce 5 years ago.
Yeah, I did. I had him in my class 10 years ago. We knew there was something happening between us. We just didn't do anything about it.
That was wise.
He dropped me an email about a year after he graduated. We started dating 6 months later, but I get it. I know what it means to resist an attraction to a student.
Well, as long as we've turned this into a confession circle, I once went on a date with a student.
Seriously?
Not here.
Thank God.
This was at Wesleyan, just after I got my PhD, and it was only one date. I tried to kiss her. She restrained my face with her hand. That was it. The story died there. But I get it, too.
Yes, we all get it. It's not that hard to understand. What's the point?
I didn't really have a point, just a question. This girl, Zayna, she's what, 19?
20.
And you honestly found her attractive? Like she genuinely got you hot?
Hey, Pat, that's enough. It's not relevant, and you know it.
Isn't it, Tom? Isn't it?
I found Zayna very attractive. Yes, Pat. Does that answer your question?
So you have a thing for overweight Middle Eastern girls?
Yeah, I suppose I do.
Huh?
You feel better, Pat?
Oh, come on, Tom.
No, I'm not sure what you accomplished exactly with that line of questioning.
I'm just trying to understand the situation for what it is, that's all.
That's legitimate.
Just because it's legitimate doesn't make it productive.
Diane re-enters.
Diane, I'm so glad you're back.
I just ran into someone in the hallway who I thought who should be part of this conversation.
Zayna enters.
Diane, are you serious? This is an official faculty meeting. This is highly inappropriate.
I'm sorry, Tom, but if you guys are so keen on having this conversation, I think all parties should be present. Don't you?
No, I don't want to have this conversation. I'm just trying to run a fucking department meeting here. Pardon my language, Zayna.
No. I'm sorry to interrupt your meeting. I just need to talk to Professor Jax. I've been looking all over for you.
Well, here I am.
I need to talk to you. Alone.
Are you kidding me?
Diane.
I'm sorry, but are we just going to stand around while one of our students arranges inappropriate rendezvous with...
Sorry, Zayna. I think given the circumstances, leaving you alone in the room with Professor Jax would be highly inappropriate.
I don't see why. I'm no longer a student here.
What?
I tried going to your home, Professor. And I figured I'd find you here.
This is ridiculous, Zayna. You should have a restraining order against him.
He did nothing wrong. I believe I made that abundantly clear to you.
Tom, are you just going to stand around and do nothing?
If I'm no longer a student here, it can hardly be inappropriate for me to talk to Professor Jax.
Diane, if Zayna chooses to converse with Edgar on her own terms, I can hardly see what the university can do to stop her.
Thank you, Tom.
You disgust me.
And what about me, Diane? Do I disgust you? What about you, Edgar? Do I disgust you?
Zayna.
It's a serious question.
I think you know you don't.
Oh, how sweet.
What about the rest of you?
Zayna, you need to talk to someone.
I want to hear from the other men in this room. Do you find me attractive? Or do I disgust you?
Zayna, with all due respect, your question is not appropriate, nor is it particularly relevant.
Oh, really? Well, then tell that to Channel 11 News, because whether or not I'm attractive enough to warrant the attention of my college professor is now a topic of public debate.
And we regret that, Zayna.
I appreciate your remorse. But you know what? You started this conversation. Nobody would be having it if not for the nice people in this room. The very people who are so concerned with being appropriate.
Zayna.
You started this conversation, Diane. Perhaps the only decent thing to do now would be for you to weigh in on it. I came to you. I told you I was the one to blame. I took full responsibility. I asked you to drop it and save me some humiliation. But you couldn't do that, could you? You couldn't leave it alone. Well, one thing's for certain. I really received an education this semester, didn't I? I hope you're happy.
Zayna exits.
Don't, Edgar. Don't look at me like that. I'm not the one who encouraged her to prostitute herself for my own personal pleasure.
No, you're not. You're right. You just felt the need to sacrifice her in the name of women's issues.
Edgar runs after Zayna. Scene 11. Edgar catches up to Zayna.
Wait. Please.
I have to go.
Just wait.
What?
I'm sorry.
For?
Everything. This whole thing got way out of hand.
It's my own damn fault. You didn't ask for those pictures.
I should have advised you to stop. I'm the adult. I'm the professor. I failed you. I should have advised you better.
Yeah? Why didn't you?
Because I was having a good time.
Masturbating?
Yeah.
Wow. So honest.
You asked. I've never lied to you. I'm not going to start now.
I went to your house. I talked to your wife.
I'm sorry.
I've never felt more degraded in my entire life.
You can't pay attention to my wife. You can't pay attention to these stupid news shows or anyone who makes you feel dirty or cheap. You're beautiful. And you've got a bright future ahead of you.
Ooh. So inspiring. What a mentor you've been to me. You encourage me to realize my potential, and then you go home and get your rocks off.
I do care about you.
Do you?
It doesn't change the fact that I've behaved inappropriately. I have. I regret that. I'm a dirty old man. It doesn't mean I don't want only good things for you.
What am I to you exactly, Professor?
A student.
You jack off to all your students?
Do you send pictures of yourself to all your teachers?
Nope. I sure don't.
Then why me?
Because I sensed you like me. Do you?
Yes.
Right. And you know what? I like you too. I may even be in love with you.
I'm married.
So, what am I to you, Professor? Answer that, and I'll leave you alone forever. What am I to you?
Just a student.
Just a piece of ass. A whore.
That is not fair.
That's how I feel.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. The way I feel about you is inappropriate. As a married man and as a teacher, I'm sorry.
For how you feel?
No. For the fact that you know how I feel.
Why are you attracted to me, Edgar? Because I'm Muslim?
No.
Then why? Because I have dark skin?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it is because you're Muslim. I don't know.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand it either. But that's desire. It's not to be understood. It just is.
Whatever it is, it has nothing to do with me. Who I actually am, right?
No.
No.
I like you.
You like me.
As a person, I mean, you're a good person. I respect you. And I wish only good things for you.
But you don't masturbate to my picture because I'm a good person or because you respect me, do you?
No.
No. You masturbate to my picture because I have brown skin, I'm overweight, and potentially because I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's the most degrading aspect of this entire thing.
Zayna exits. Edgar is left alone as the lights fade to black. Scene 12, a bar later that night. Edgar sits at a table with Pat and Murray. They drink beer.
It's over. I'm done.
That's pretty dramatic, don't you think?
It'll be fine. Lay low for a few years. You really think anyone is going to remember this story 5 years from now?
I don't know, Murray. The question is bigger than whether or not anyone's going to remember. I'm not convinced I belong in a classroom anymore.
Why do you say that?
The situation got out of hand. Do you really think this is the first time I've noticed any one of my students?
Have you ever been sexually intimate with a student?
Never. I just know how it is. You meet privately with students, they're not always so modestly dressed, and you know how they are. They want you to notice them. They want to get under your skin, and it makes them feel powerful.
Don't let Diane hear you talk like that, Ed. She'll accuse you of blaming the victims and she'll crucify you.
No, I'm not blaming anyone. And it's fine if they want to try and get hot and bothered. They want to try and get you hot and bothered. We're professors. It's on us to be better than that. In this instance, I failed miserably. I shouldn't have done what I did. And I deserve to lose my career. Since my first teaching position, I've had thoughts about my students. I've always tried my best to ignore them. You know how it is. You have a private meeting with a student, they sit across from you, gazing at you with that feigned interest, making you believe that the topic you study is the most important subject in the universe. Basically playing you for a better grade. Then she crosses her legs at the very moment she noticed your gaze linger on her inner thighs.
And you go home and jack off and forget it.
Except I didn't forget about it. One meeting and I've got enough to jack off about for an entire semester. I start to ask myself, why do I like teaching? Am I really interested in education? Do I really want to help anyone? Or am I in it to have something to jack off over?
Maybe you're right, Ed. Maybe you shouldn't be teaching.
Oh, come on, Pat. What are you doing? You're not helping here.
No, I'm serious. Look, we've all got naughty thoughts, but I don't fight that hard to maintain my composure. I can usually get through the semester without working that hard to avoid throwing my career down the drain. If that's not your experience, Ed, maybe you shouldn't be teaching.
I agree.
Once in a blue moon, I take a research assistant out to dinner.
Yeah?
It's not a date, totally innocent. You know, a reward for hard work with no pay. But if I'm being honest, I could just as easily say thank you with a Starbucks gift card at a quarter of the cost of what I usually drop on a dinner.
Do you ever make a pass?
At a thank you dinner? No.
Is it hard to resist?
You know, I have to make a conscious effort to maintain eye contact all night. My point is, it's a fine line, isn't it?
It is. And if you can't walk it, you need to stay off the tightrope.
That's what I'm doing.
I respect that.
Thank you.
You really had a hard time controlling yourself with that girl.
Really, Pat? How many more times are you going to ask me this question?
I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time wrapping my mind around this.
Here I am admiring you for your composure and professional attitude. Listen to you. You're no better than Kelly McManus.
I know.
There's unnoticed. He looks at the guys reluctant to approach.
I know. I'm a pig. But my mind keeps going there. You could have been attracted to any of your students. And let's face it, some of our students are damn attractive.
They are. I've had students that have elicited involuntary double takes.
All right. But the one that causes your downfall is an overweight Muslim girl.
I'm so glad you're still harping on this, Pat. It lets me see that at the end of the day, you're just a sick fuck. Just like me.
I never pretended to be otherwise.
Let me ask you a question, Pat. What do you find more incredible? The fact that she's Muslim or overweight?
Touche, Edgar. I'm definitely a little racist. I won't lie to you. I think the overweight thing bothers me more.
Wow.
Bravo, Pat. You're an honest man.
How could I not be? Look who I'm talking to.
Pat sees Tom approach.
Tom, what are you doing? You never come out with us.
I went to your house. Claire told me where to find you.
What happened? Is Claire okay?
Zayna, Edgar. She went home and swallowed a whole bottle of pills.
Oh, no.
They rushed her to the hospital.
Edgar gets up to leave.
I'm on my way. Just text me which hospital.
Edgar, wait.
I parked 5 blocks away. I'm gonna need a head start. Just text me the hospital.
No, Edgar. She's gone.
What?
What?
She passed away a few hours ago.
No, please.
I'm so sorry. Your phone was off, and I drove to your house. Claire said you were here, and it took me time to catch up to you. I'm really sorry.
Dead?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Edgar.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I'm really sorry, pal.
Yeah.
Hey, forgive me, Edgar, huh?
You?
Yeah, I've been flip and inappropriate. Forgive me. I'm really sorry.
Forgive me, guys. God. Forgive me.
Lights fade to black. Scene 13. Diane's office. Diane is packing books into boxes. Edgar enters. Diane sees him and stops what she's doing.
Get out. Get out.
Diane.
Get out. I don't want to talk to you.
Why?
Because I don't want to hear it from you.
You're what? I didn't come to say anything to you. I was hoping you would have something to say to me.
Well, I don't. Okay. You're right. I fucked up this girl's life. She might still be alive if it weren't for me. I'm a terrible, horrible person, and I'm done teaching. Okay? Good enough for you?
Sure.
Good. Now fuck off.
Okay, I'll fuck off. Before I do, let me just say this. You're right. I fucked up this girl's life. I'd still be alive if it wasn't for me. I'm a terrible, horrible person. I'm done teaching. And to answer your question, I knew exactly that's how you'd be feeling too. That's why I'm here. I thought it maybe would help. It would help if we felt that way together. I am surprised that you're actually quitting, however. I had you pegged as a Kantian, driven by duty.
Duty?
Yeah, duty.
I'm not much of a philosophy expert, but didn't that kind of thinking lead to some pretty scary times in Germany?
Well, frankly, you've always kind of terrified me.
Thank you.
Just being honest.
Enough with your honesty. Has it ever occurred to you, Edgar, that perhaps being too honest with people can actually hurt them?
You're right. Need to work on that.
And now she's dead. The life of a young girl was cut short, partly due to your relationship with her.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
No.
Goodbye, Edgar.
You can't stop teaching.
Oh, no?
You shouldn't. You advocated for her. That's what you do. You advocate for these kids. They need you to do that.
Some advocate. If my efforts bring about their demise, who needs me?
You made a mistake. So take a break. Start over at a new school if you want, but don't quit. These kids need an advocate.
I don't know. This is a lot to recover from.
But you will recover. So grieve the mistake. And then learn from it. And keep going.
If you had to articulate my mistake in a sentence, what would you say?
I'd say you made the mistake. I'd say you made the same mistake I made.
I didn't objectify anyone.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
How can you even...
I think you did what I did. You objectified a young girl. The difference, I objectified her sexually. You objectified her politically. You turned a sweet young girl into a cause. You turned her into a symbol of women's fight against male dominance. She wasn't a cause, Diane. She was a person. You forgot to respect that. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're a good teacher. But more importantly, you care about these kids. And they're lucky to have you. Don't turn your back on them. Goodbye, Diane. Good luck to you.
Edgar moves to exit as Tom enters.
Edgar.
Mom.
How's Claire?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been home for a while. I'm leaving, Tom. Heading out of town.
Oh, where are you headed?
I haven't decided. Somewhere else. Somewhere else.
What about Claire?
Claire will be Claire.
See.
Goodbye, Tom.
Be in touch. Will you, Edgar? Let me know where you land. Off he goes.
Yeah.
I understand we're losing you, too. These departmental meetings are going to get pretty lonely.
Well, that's what you want, right? You'll be able to get course load approved without me worrying about whether or not our students are being harassed.
Man.
I know. You don't have to say it. Edgar and I have already been through it. I fucked up. I should have let it go. I should have let you sweep this whole mess under the rug. I don't need you to remind me.
That's not what I was going to say, Diane.
Oh, no?
No. I came here to ask you to take your letter of resignation back. You were right. You were asking the right questions. I was just trying to keep things running, to keep things calm and quiet. I didn't want to see the world turned upside down over this. But sometimes the world needs to be turned upside down. If I had accepted that earlier, you wouldn't have needed to talk to Kelly McManus. Forgive me, Diane. Don't deprive our students of an excellent educator and mentor because of my mismanagement.
Tom, I don't know that I can live with this.
I understand. So take a break. Mourn the loss. Go somewhere and think for a while, but come back to us. This won't be the last battle we have to face, and when the next one arises, we'll need you with us.
Edgar says I objectified these girls politically, that I turned Zayna Nafari into a cause, that I forgot she's a person. Do you think he's right?
I think we all made a big mistake, Diane. You, me, Edgar, even Meyer. This whole thing was not handled as it should have been. And that's really unfortunate. Shame on us. But we know better now, and hopefully next time we'll do better.
And meanwhile, Zayna Nafari is dead.
Our mistakes were costly, devastatingly expensive. It sucks. But how much worse is it if we fail to learn after paying such a heavy price? So now we learn, and we get wiser, and we do better the next time around. That's life.
Oh my God. What have I done, Tom?
No, I know. It hurts.
I don't know. I don't know that I can sustain this.
You can. Diane, trust me. You can. We're educators, Diane. That's the business we're in. Well, we should know better than anyone that education is not possible without mistakes, big ones. The mistakes have been made, and now let's learn and grow. You can, Diane. You can.
Lights fade. End of play.
Welcome. Everybody turn on your microphones and video if you feel comfortable. It's time for a talk back with the playwright, the director, and all of the actors. Well, first off, yay! That was really wonderful. Feel free to turn on your microphones. It's okay. So, do we have any questions? Oh, lots of people are chiming in with clap, 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 clap. So, lots of applause. Ken, you're the playwright.
Yes.
This is really a remarkable play. Everybody has conflicted emotions and nobody comes out clean in it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the backstory about the play?
Backstory. It's an interesting question. I've asked myself many times where the hell this play came from. I think it came from probably about 20 years of contemplating Islamophobia, probably mostly post 9/11. When I watched our country turn into such a suspicious country against people of Middle Eastern descent, and I say this as a Middle Eastern man who grew up being called Saddam Hussein in middle school, and in my adult life teaching at a alternative school and being called Bin Laden by my students. It sort of made me aware of how Middle Eastern people are viewed, and so this whole idea of just fearing people because they're from the Middle East really stuck with me. And then fat shaming has always been on my mind. I don't know why exactly. Maybe as I get older and I gain weight, I become more and more aware of it. But it's a theme that comes up in my work a lot. So I guess I put my concerns of those two things together in this play. And I also, I think this play wouldn't have been written if I hadn't spent 10 years teaching in academia and just sort of being a part of all those conversations on college campuses that have to do with being politically correct and all the procedural conversations and my sort of frustrations around all of that. And so I kind of put all that together and sort of made hay of it and explored I put all my frustrations into one play, and this is what came out.
That's really wonderful. Does anybody have any questions for the cast or the playwright or the director?
I have a question.
Sure, Jill.
Sorry.
Ooh, you're getting some feedback.
I know, it's my fault.
Go ahead.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's fine.
My question is for the actors in talking about, all the lines that were geared towards fat shaming. Was that like the most uncomfortable part to act? I mean, there must have been so many parts that were very uncomfortable to kind of speak the line or say out loud, and to me watching it, the fat stuff was really hard to hear because it's like society doesn't recognize that fat shaming can be so offensive. Like there's no political correctness around it. Like it's still acceptable somehow to fat shame. And so hearing those lines, I felt like I just kept imagining, like, what if I was watching this with somebody who was really overweight? Like, how would they hear it? I don't know. My question was the fat part of it uncomfortable in a different way to act, or even to Ken to write, than some of the other uncomfortable things about, like, we're more versed as a society in anti-Muslim and racism, like we're talking about those things, like people talk about those things, but the fat shaming is somehow something that doesn't get brought up, I think.
Does anybody want to take that one?
Well,
I'll take a run at it just to say that, Claire has a lot of awful things to say. And she does it, I think, sometimes coming from a place of her own vulnerability because, she's on diet pills. So she's got some body image issues to start with. For Brenny, the actor playing Claire, I was most uncomfortable with the racism, and I was most uncomfortable with the sort of slut shaming that Claire does in that last scene. Out of, I think, her need to diminish and punish who she sees as a rival, with no at all compassion for the humanity of the young woman in front of her. So Brenny felt the worst about that.
If I might, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Diane. Okay, I'll go ahead and sort of second what Brenny has to say about that. With lots of different things. First of all, when you're approaching something as an actor, there's a Tom Stoppard quote that actors are the opposite of people, and so anything that might stand out as uncomfortable to you as a person, you as an actor, or me as an actor, you have to. Those are clues to me, as things to grapple onto. Clues into the scene. Now, that doesn't mean that once I get done with the scene, I don't look back and say, what the hell did it say? But yes, the things that make me most uncomfortable as a person are, all of it. But yes, the current climate calls to attention the issues of xenophobia and homophobia and women's rights. But yes, to answer your direct question, is the fat shaming is in there too, obviously, as Ken brought up, and we all, I think we all experienced that particular issue in our lives in different ways. And yeah, certain things become uncomfortable after a while. The biggest example that comes to mind that makes me uncomfortable is watching old Friends episodes. Things become dated after a while, and like the way they made fun of Monica.
Being fat.
Yeah. I have struggled here and there, not to those extremes, but we all struggle here and there but I also have family members who have struggled more severely, and I remember watching those kinds of shows back in the day alongside those family members who had to grin and bear it. And I look back on that now, and it's like the problem with humor is that there's always a group that is societally acceptable to be the butt of the joke, and that's the problem with comedy, is that someone has to be the butt of the joke. And how do we navigate figuring out the right way to make someone the butt of the joke in this time where I think more sensitivity overall is called for? So yes, it does make me uncomfortable, but yeah, without lack of a better way to close that out, I will close there.
I won't talk too long. I think this is a little bit of a testament to you, Ken, and how you wrote it, because I think what it puts into view, I don't know if I would say uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with all of these issues, but I think it's interesting to look at the perspective of where we are as just humans, and then characters, but the perspective of our priority of what's uncomfortable. So, and that's just what the balance in society is how you scaffold your uncomfortability and how we talk. Like how easily it just rolled off the tongue as this was a joke, but this was racist, but this is uncomfortable. So just how we scaffold our feelings towards any kind of prejudice.
I see that there's a question in the chat, so maybe I'll just read it. It's to you, Ken, from Ian. You managed to balance both tragic and satirical elements. Was that intentional from the beginning, or did you start in one genre and discover the other?
It's funny, I saw that too, and I just privately responded to him.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'll say it out loud too. I don't really I don't really write in terms of genre. And maybe that's a detriment to me as a writer. I don't consider it when I start a project, or even when I'm writing a project. I let other people kind of figure out the genre later. But I just kind of try to express myself honestly, and leaning towards the comical. I tend to express myself in sort of comical ways and flippant ways, and maybe that makes the tragedy of the whole thing even more biting and more of a double-edged sword. But it's just how my brain works. I when I'm uncomfortable or in a tragic situation, I think of the most uncomfortable thing I could possibly say, and that's what my mind comes up with. And if I didn't write plays, I'd be very socially unacceptable. I wouldn't know where else to put those thoughts.
Theater is a home for many people. I have a question. Do we think Edgar, in the end, was in love with Zayna?
You want me to answer that, Ken, or not?
Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, Spencer.
I mean, I don't know if I have a concrete answer for that, because I certainly think, and it changes from reading to reading, because I've had the wonderful opportunity to read this play now, 4 times. I did the rehearsal and read through for the New Works Festival along with Tarneem, to work with you again, Tarneem, at Phoenix Theater Company a year and some change ago, and now this is my rehearsal and second read through of the new script. I think what I came away from it with tonight was that, yes, well, at least at some point he believed he did, and I think. But the question is, what does he love her for? Why does he love her? Why does he think that he loves her? And I think it has to do a lot with projection. He admits to his fetishes, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't cultivated some kind of relationship, like substantial relationship with her, and actually getting to know her as a person. So yeah, I think it meets somewhere in the middle. But like some part of it is projection and projecting his fetishes onto this person and objectifying her, but he also knows her as a person enough to, like, for those two to like meet in the middle somewhere. So yeah, I mean, there's that wrestling of what is it, just his stuff, or is it actually have to do with her? And there's that pivotal moment where she asks him the question, and it's so heartbreaking, because I think we did, and I think we had this discussion during the reading at Phoenix, Ken, about this pivotal moment that Zayna is seeking this kind of validation from him, and he always chooses to do the right thing at the wrong time, because this is the chance he has to give her what she needs, and that's the moment he decides, I have to draw a professional boundary, but it's not what he's really feeling. It's what he needs. It's what he all of a sudden feels like it's his duty to say to her. Anyway,
Can I just jump in there for a second, because one of the things that really got me was when she asks him if he loves her, and I'm generalizing here, but in typical male fashion, he says, "But I'm married." So he doesn't ever give her a straight answer, right? He gives her a safe answer where she can draw any conclusions she wants from that answer.
A politician's answer.
Yes. And I think he was in love with her. I think he got to that point, like Edgar said, that he got to know her. He saw what she was doing, what she was going through. He felt bad for her. He understood that Claire was, Claire, you made me feel just like dirt. But Zayna was truly being honest with her feelings, and I think Edgar knew that, and he wanted to go that direction, but he just couldn't. His other boundaries kept him from going there.
It's an interesting question for me because let's say he does. Does that do anything for us? Does that change the equation here at all? Does it make it more forgivable? You know, it's like we ask ourselves, okay, but did he love her? Well, what does that change?
As speaking for Edgar, I think it would make it at least more forgivable in terms of intent. You know, if he was just out to have his way with whomever, whatever undergrad came his way, then that would make him far more despicable. But he's actually, I think you paint him actually more conflicted and all that jazz.
I think he was in love with the idea of being in love.
I don't see love at all.
No,
I see desire.
I don't see it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially today too, in that scene, I feel like, Spencer, you played the bar scene after our interaction, like so nonchalantly, just like tossing your drink and like, I hadn't seen it. I feel like I didn't see it like that before. And I was kind of like, wow, Zayna is probably in her dorm room crying and at the brink of, her life basically. And
yeah, well, I feel you. If Edgar had seen Zayna, if that was something I was trying tonight, and if Edgar had seen Zayna, if Edgar had known that Zayna had seen him be that way, he would be horrified. Yeah. But he was switching modes. Like he's like, I don't know. I just was like, this is at the bar. The battle's over. I've lost, and now I'm decompressing with my soon-to-be former colleagues.
What has he lost? You said the battle is over and he lost. What?
Everything.
Everything.
And I'm sorry if I didn't. Maybe I didn't make that clear.
No. I just.
But Brenny, you said last night something that I hadn't really stopped to think about, which is that when we learn that she is dead, everybody immediately starts telling Edgar how sorry they are for him.
Oh, Edgar, I'm so sorry. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, let me apologize to you, Edgar, because I was so mean. And I'm like, the shock of that. Like, this young woman has destroyed her life. And now we're sorry for the guy. I loved that, Ken. I loved that move that you made. Because, the question is he in love with her brings up to me, well, then is this his tragedy? And as the audience member, I don't want this to be Edgar's story. I don't want this to be Edgar's tragedy. He sees it as his tragedy. But, oh, my goodness gracious, whenever their hypocrisy is exposed, whenever their frailty is exposed, that's when I love this play the best. So I was saying to Amy, I'm like, I don't want anybody rescued. I want everybody hung out to dry. I don't want anybody to,
Well, then what are Claire's transgressions?
What are they? Do you want the whole list? Do you want the whole list? She is not rescued in this play at all, and neither should she be. It's like the conversation they had in that last scene, Diane and Edgar, is exactly the conversation that will be happening with the audience after the play. And let's not
get it wrong. Diane's doesn't get off either. But.
No, not at all.
To go back to that question at the beginning, I think that's the thing that makes me the most uncomfortable in this show. Is how awful Diane is. Mm-hmm. That I want this one adult woman who's involved and trying to be on Zayna's side and knows what's going on and is not compromised by being married to one of them. You just want her not to be. She says I'm not on a crusade and I'm not, that's the one that makes me the most uncomfortable personally.
I love that.
Follow-up question. I have a follow-up question that's based on what Amy just said, which is, I guess, for Ken or any of the actors, but the role of self-awareness in this play. Like they all lack self-awareness, and then at the end they kind of get some in various degrees, and they're sort of telling it to each other, like they're dropping these truth bombs on each other. And then Zayna is sort of sacrificed, like she gets this self-awareness that leads to her death. But to me, that was like self-awareness was almost like the protagonist in some ways. So I would love to hear people I don't really have a question. I just love to hear commentary on that topic, because it's what Amy was just saying. Like you want to shake Diane by the shoulders and be like, smack her, be like, get a grip, lady. You're the only adult. You're the only potential adult here.
Hi, my name's Tom, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, Tom's one of our playwrights.
First of all, I want to say that the acting tonight, I already texted it, but it's extraordinary. I mean, obviously the actors prepared. I mean, many of you knew your lines. I mean, I was, at the beginning of COVID, I was like so against thinking that there could be any value in theater, virtual, online. And all summer long, I've been attending readings from several different companies, and boy, was I wrong. It's extraordinary. So bravo to the actors. You are absolutely phenomenal. As far as the story, Ken and I are going to talk offline, so we'll talk playwright to playwright. But
oh, wait a minute. Are we doing a writer's room? I want in.
Well, I mean, there's things, if we want to, usually when we have a reading, we want to know if there were any thoughts about what didn't work and things like that. So I'm not hearing that's really the direction we're going tonight. So I thought, why bring down the party? So he and I can talk offline. But I want to say that the story was obviously very interesting, but it was the characters that were compelling. For me to stick around for 2.5 hours, and believe me, there were times when I thought I could walk away and say, I have to answer the doorbell, but I didn't, because the characters were so compelling. I liked Diane. I thought she was awesome. At the end of the play, when the department head comes in to announce the death, I swear to you, I thought he said Claire died. And I was like so excited because I hated her character. So, then I heard there were lines like, well, Claire told me where you were, and I was so confused. I'm like, isn't she dead? And then, of course, listening, it wasn't her at all. And it actually brought sadness, because I was hoping through somewhere here there would be a little bit of happiness, happy ending kind of, we all kind of want a little bit of that, and it didn't happen. So, but bravo, the acting, Ken's development of these characters, it's just wonderful. And I thank you for doing this for Playwrights. You guys are amazing. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I just chime in here, please?
Oh, Priscilla's also one of our playwrights.
Thank you. I would agree with Tom. The actors were just phenomenal. The other is that my focus was on the characters and how they were developed. They're so multi-layered and complex, and that was just so wonderful to observe. And I wanted to ask Ken about that, about how he saw this development, how because they evolve, and they're so. Edgar and Zayna. Thank you. They in many respects are similar, insofar as you can't always understand what motivates them to take the actions that they do, and when they do explain it, it sometimes surprises you. This was just so well developed in terms of the characters. I thank you very much. It was great.
Thank you.
I'll lower my hand. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question for Laura, because Laura made me the most uncomfortable of the whole.
Oh, yes.
How did she manage to get through that with that smile on her face, that really viperous, venom-filled smile all the way through? That was like, oh, I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just, I'm just drawn that way. Like, I mean, it's she. How did you do that, Laura?
I guess I watch a lot of news, so I guess I don't know, I act on what I see, and I'm really believing that this woman just wants to get the juicy story, so just add a little menace to that, and yeah, there you go. Just devoted to it. So.
It just made my stomach lurch. It was just I mean that's good. It made my stomach lurch in a good way because you were so.
Was it my necktie?
It was just I felt so bad for Diane and I really like the fact that Diane just got up and walked off the set. I think that's earphones out, down on the floor. But yeah, I mean it was Laura was that one got to me really. I think most of all, other than later with Diane and Edgar, or Diane and Claire, not Diane and Claire and Zayna.
It's good writing. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
I have to say, Laura and I have worked together a lot, and tonight I saw her go somewhere completely new I've never seen before. So I think you must have definitely channeled those like right-wing, pundits or reporters, because I just saw some inflections tonight that I was like, whoa, Laura is out of her mind tonight. It was really wonderful.
Okay, so I have a question. Did Diane and Murray, were they talking about their relationship in grad school? Was Diane the research assistant and Murray the professor? They both talk about going out to dinners, expensive dinners. Ken makes a perfect point of that. But then they don't give you all the details. Diane says, oh, we just send each other cards. I'm not sure I believed it. Murray's like, oh, it was just dinner. I had to keep my eyes there. But there was an affair. So what do we think? Ken? No?
I am going to offer the least interesting answer to this question. I'm so much more interested in hearing where the imagination of the audience and everybody else goes on this.
You wrote it.
I often find that the writer comes up with the least interesting questions. Right? The writer only goes so far. The audience then receives it, and the way they receive it sometimes is completely different than how a writer pitches it. And to me, that's exciting.
I don't know, Taifa, what do you think?
Okay.
What?
Why not? I think that little story of Diane's was just one of many.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I would think Murray, Murray's ability to get off on just taking a grad student out to dinner for pay, like he said, instead of the Starbucks card, is his way of flirting. But I don't think he's a master flirt. I think he strikes out all the time. I think he's hopelessly single in a one-bedroom apartment and never dates. He just takes grad students out for dinner. I really do.
And that gets his knocks off.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah. And I think that Diane's, I don't know. I think she's more complicated than that. Like, I feel like there's a layer that she does not let off on. And I think that makes her really interesting to me. And the fact that she gave that little bit, I think there's definitely more to that story, to Zayna. It felt like it was bringing her in on her journey. And I do think she was getting some revenge through Edgar.
I had another question about Diane's character also. So first of all, congrats to everyone. This was fantastic. We definitely enjoyed it. But one thing that surprised me with Diane's character is I think we were also kind of rooting for a hero in the end to somehow be in her corner and rectify and have this amazing, partnership between Zayna and Diane. And one thing that caught me off guard was in the very last scene when
I believe it was Tom that Diane was speaking to when you mentioned that you asked him the question of, do you agree with Edgar? Am I using her as political objectification? And I thought it was really interesting that your character decided to put that in the hands of somebody else and ask for that gratification or clearance from someone else. And I'm curious if you think Diane thought that that's what she was doing, or if at the end of this she still felt like, no, I had the right intent and I shouldn't be the one to be put on the same level with Edgar in this scenario.
That's a good question. I do think it's interesting that she actually asked a man to qualify her on that juncture. But I also think it's because deep down inside, I think it got ahead of her, and because she kept on saying to Zayna, this is bigger than you. So as soon as she made that statement, it was, I care about you, but if you're not going to join me on the ride, I got to get going. I think she definitely had an agenda. Part of that was a personal, not revenge, but to avenge herself, I think. But also, I just think I think we don't think about things until something gets a full stop. And I think there was a full stop with the death of this girl. Then it was, oh, wait, let me see. Maybe I should have paid more attention. Maybe I should have. But I do think it feels like months down the road, they're all going to be moving on with their lives in some particular way. And I think those blinders don't really leave her, even with the self-recognition.
And it's also what we always say to women, right? Like, on some level, it is bigger than just any one person's story. And there is this push that if you don't say something, it continues to happen. And like, I think it's such a common refrain that it's not just about you, it's about everyone else. And also how it does continue to happen when people don't, like, she's not wrong, right? It is bigger than just her, right? Like, Weinstein doesn't happen if all of the agents who know and are sending their actors in stop sending their actors in,
Right.
So
right. I just think I absolutely, like, it's always the answer. And like, when does that stop? When do you yes, it is bigger, but this girl is dead, and her family doesn't have her anymore. And like, when you really stop. And so I think that it did give a full stop to Diane's like campaign, but in a few months it's going to be bigger than that,
Well, it's very close to 10 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, 3 hours is a Zoom limit for, I think, many of us. We're probably all very tired. Thank you all for giving your time and your patience and showing up for rehearsals and getting it done and digging into these characters. You all did a fabulous job, and a million thanks to Amy and Ken for letting us play in this world that you created for us on the page and then on the Zoom. So thank you all, and this will be posted on Friday on our Facebook page at 7 p.m. I'm going to do some quick edits to it, make it look pretty, and if I can ask you all to make sure that you share it widely and to say how much you liked it, so we could get a really great big audience for this, it would be very, very helpful, and it'll help Ken get his next production of this on stage when we get back into the real world.
AJ, how long will that be available once it's posted?
It'll stay up until Ken says otherwise. Mm-hmm. Usually, with Ken's permission, obviously, you can use it for part of your sizzle reel if you'd like, or whatnot. Oh, and if anybody has any Patreon or Cash App or however you do it, I'll be glad to post those along with your name, or if you have bios or websites, please feel free to send those. I'll make sure those goes out too. Okay. Thank you all, and good night.
Thanks, AJ. Really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for coming. It was great to see everybody.
Thanks,
All right.
Amy. Thanks,
Thanks
Amy.
so
Bye,
much.
everyone. It was nice working with you.
Night.
Nice working with all of you.
You guys are all great. Thank you.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Night.